Unity of the Huachucas presents Reverend William Gill.
Color My World.
I invite you to close your eyes and breathe deeply. Open your mind and your heart and feel the flow of divine love involving you, your entire being. Love and everything that exists, there is no part of our being that is not totally divine. And let God Himself shine in every aspect of my life. We are the power. The power is always within me. We are divine wisdom. This wisdom that guides us to a life of peace, of love, of magnitude. We are light. This light that shines in love for others, in commitment to truth, to magnificence. Remember who you are. We are unique. We are God. And so it is. Amen. Good morning again. Good morning. That which you are to do, you are here to do. And it is yours to do. What is a spiritual practice? In different religions of the world, people do different things to do a spiritual practice, to be spiritual, to get closer to God. But the more I do this, both as a learner of spiritual things, as well as a teacher of spiritual things, the more that I see, the more that I am convinced that my spiritual growth comes in doing what I came here to do. I strongly believe that we did not show up in this world to eat, sleep, and go to work. Those are things that we need to do because of how our economies work in this time in the evolution of this planet. But I strongly believe that what I am to do in this life, I am to do. And what you are to do in this life, you are to do. Then the question becomes, what is that? And again, through my studies and practice, I have found that my spiritual practice evolves in answering that question. What is it that I came to this world to really do? And how can I get there? What is mine to do what is mine to do? You don't have to answer me, but do you know what is yours to do? And if you know what it is, are you doing what is yours to do? Because again, in my experience, that is the greatest spiritual practice. That is how we blossom in consciousness. That is how we get closer to God. Not so much by doing a lot of verbose prayers, not so much by doing any one activity at church, but rather by finding out what it is that I'm here to do and doing it despite of where it takes me. Do you think that Jesus the Christ, from whom we based our learning, do you think He knew what was His to do? Do you think He said yes to His calling? Do you think that following His calling was easy? And do you think that He nonetheless said, yes, I know what is mine to do and I will do it? Not for anybody else, but for my spiritual growth. And I know that rubbed you wrong, but for my spiritual growth. So, finding out what is ours to do and doing it is the greatest spiritual calling. And it is the greatest way to come closer to God, if you will. There's a voice that speaks to me. Can you still hear me? I mean, through the mic? Okay. There is a voice that speaks to me, and it's not that voice. Although it could be. It does show up in strange ways. But there's a voice that speaks to me, and I have learned that it's important for me as a spiritual being living a physical experience to listen to that voice. Sometimes that voice has taken me to places that are not comfortable. Sometimes that voice has taken me through situations that I wouldn't do out of my intellectual mind. But in the end, I learned that's what I needed to do, that's where I needed to be. And it's a little bit scary when that voice speaks again and again with the same message. A message to which I sometimes say, that's okay, thank you. But that message comes up, and it comes up, and that's the message as to what is mine to do. So this talk is going to turn a little bit more personal. Instead of trying to teach you something, I'm going to share something with you. That voice has been speaking loudly, and it has been saying, William, get back to church ministry. Now, I've been a guest speaker at churches for the last 12 years. Before that, I led a church. I was senior minister of a church in Florida. And through those 5 years of ministry, some great things happened, both to the church and for me. Through my leadership, the church increased attendance by more than 50%. They were in the black for the first time in years financially. We had 2 services plus a midweek service. A lot of good things happened. But for me personally, besides the highs, one of the most painful days of my life happened during those 5 years. And there's no need to get into details, but just suffice to say that when I was done there, I said loud and clear to the voice, I'm done here. I'm done. You get it, I'm done. And then being speaker is great because I love to teach, and I would go do my talk like I'm doing here, give hugs and kisses, and go home. And I did not have to deal with anything else. But the voice has been saying, I made you a minister, you need to be a minister. Besides a street minister, a undercover minister that I call myself because for my day job I teach in the aviation industry and I minister to those pilots. They don't know it, but I'm ministering to them. It's undercover ministry. Yeah. But the voice has said it's time for you to do church ministry again. Now, that's difficult for me because before I can accept that, funny thing, that is the theme of the month, there's a lot of forgiveness I have to do. And forgiveness is not a discrete event. Forgiveness is a continuum. You do not forgive somebody today and we're done with it. You have to continue the work of forgiveness. And it never ends. And I thought I had forgiven the people and situations that happened in my church ministry. That was, what are we talking about now? 17 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. And one day, I'm sitting at Unity of Tucson, and Reverend Jonathan, something's coming out of his mouth, and he doesn't even know he's saying these things that are making an explosion inside of me. And some things came out of his mouth where I started feeling sick, physically sick. I thought, I'm getting sick here in the middle of the service. I was sitting as a congregant. And then I went outside and I sat in that beautiful gazebo they have there. And I realized, oh boy, that is phase 2 of my forgiveness that I thought I was done with. I also realized until that forgiveness work continues, I cannot get back to church ministry. What unclear and forgiven situation is holding you from where you need to be? What have you not cleansed in your life that is muddying the waters of your consciousness? And that's normal. Even Jesus had his day up in the mountain and said to God, hey, I don't want to do this. Somebody else can do it. But then he did his work and he said, I'll do it. What is holding you back from doing what you are to do? And what you are to do, you are to do. What needs to be cleared up? What needs to be cleansed to make your joy greater? To make your fulfillment greater, to make your self-realization greater. And the thought of leading a church or even being official part of a church still makes my legs shake. But the joy that I feel when I do it does not compare to anything. And so it's important to do our continual forgiveness work. And it's important to identify what is holding us back so that we may continue in the road to our salvation. And by salvation, I don't mean that Jesus died on the cross. By salvation, I mean our blossoming in consciousness as spiritual beings. For me, I have to continue doing my forgiveness work. I have to choose carefully what I say yes to and what I say no to. But I know that the voice will not leave me alone. Neither will it leave you alone, Captain. And I know that the voice has always taken me to a greater place in my life. And so, listening to the voice, combined with continuous forgiveness work, is what I believe takes us, opens the door, readies us for us to be where we need to be. And it's scary. It's scary. Like I said, I left church ministry 12 years ago, I guess, 2012. And I've been doing other things. Moved to Tucson for the first time in my life and making the highest salary that I've ever made before. Not millions, but better than the past. I get better reviews than anybody else in my job. But the voice is saying, thank you, but that's not what's yours to do. And I say to the voice, but hey, this is cool. And the voice says, what is cooler in consciousness? The voice also has said to me, you will not be alone as you walk this road. The voice has also said, I will be there for you. In the good times and in the bad times, I will be there for you. And that voice is there with you and for you as you choose to walk the road that is yours to walk. And I have to tell you, physical age has nothing to do with it. Doesn't matter what your physical age is, you can still take the road of what's yours to do. And know that you're not alone. And know that the voice will say when to turn left, and the voice will say when to turn right. And the voice will say when to go slower, and the voice will say when to go faster. And the voice will tell you the right path, which way is the right way, and the joy within you, you can hardly contain. That which brings you the greatest joy is that which you are to do. And that which you do because you cannot hold it back, that's what's yours to do. As some of you know, I do the service at Unity of Tucson sometimes. And I do it because I want to. I'm not an employee of the church. I do it because I want to. And I do it because that's the greatest joy for me. It takes work, I have to prepare it. I prepare the talk, I do the whole service, and the service there has many moving parts. I do all kinds of things there, but I do it because there's nothing that I'd rather be doing. Are you doing that which there is nothing else that you would rather do? And if you're not, it's okay, because I'm there too, from 8 to 5 or like 6 to 6. But I'm there too. But I know what brings that joy to my heart. And the voice said, take care of my people. The voice said, you're a great aviation instructor, thank you very much, but how about getting back to a more involved church ministry? And the voice said, keep your eyes open and your ears open, and I'm going to help you. And once again, that same voice is there for you. I'm not unique, I'm just a guy with a wife and 2 dogs who lives in Tucson. That voice is there for you. That voice is to speak to you. That voice is to guide you. That voice is to protect you. I didn't touch anything. And I'm within the green lines. To get a little traditional Christian on you, when are you going to be about your Father's business? Ask yourself that every day. When am I going to be about my Father's business? And I am not deprecating anything that you're doing. I have a day job. It's hard work. I'm making okay salary. I'm doing well in it. I'm not putting down anything you're doing now. If you're retired or whatever, I am saying, are you about your Father's business? Translation, are you doing what the voice says that brings great joy to you because that's what you are to do in this world? Do I want to drive an hour and a half each way every other month? Yes, because I'm here with you. They want to put in a 60-hour week and then prepare a service and a talk, and sometimes I actually play music too, on top of what I'm doing? Yes. And I'm going to make sure that I do more of that and less of this, because that's what the voice said to do. So, to wrap this up without any big fanfare, I want to say thank you. Because by being here, I am doing what brings great joy to my heart. And by being here, I hope that it will rub off on you. And you too will choose to do what brings great joy to your heart. And by being here, and I being in joy, and you being in joy, I think we're going to see less of the horrors we see in the world. Because happy people do happy things. Unhappy people do unhappy things. Let us be the happy people, the children of God. And I will close with something that may sound familiar to you, but it came to me as I was working on this talk. As time goes on, I realize what you mean to me. And those are lyrics from a song that says more things, but I just wanted to say, as time goes on, I realize what you mean to me. Thank you for sharing your love with me, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Thank you for sharing your love with me that I've been waiting to have, not knowing it, I've been waiting to have that love for a long time. And color my world, literally color my world, with hopes of loving you.